Coming up today on this special edition of Ag Day. From Idaho to Florida, FFA members from across the country are planting and picking the solutions to world hunger. And one organization wants the hunger conversation to become contagious with future policymakers.
Ag Day, brought to you by the 2012 Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road.
What's a world without hunger? Well, it's a world FFA members from across the country are trying to make a reality. Good morning, I'm Tyne Morgan, in for Clinton Griffiths for this special edition of Ag Day. Today, we're taking you for a trip across the country to show you FFA members working to provide food for all. It's estimated some 50 million Americans were food insecure at some point in 2011. That's why 3 organizations teamed up to create FFA Food for All, an effort to fight hunger on the front lines. Earlier this year, Farmers Feeding the World and the Howard G. Buffett Foundation teamed up with National FFA to provide 140 grants to FFA chapters nationwide.
Our initiative, Feeding the World Starting at Home, was built around helping those FFA chapters see that they can make a difference on the local level.
This past year, I had the privilege of traveling the country to see the work being done and talk to FFA members, getting their hands dirty, all for one cause. Our first stop, sunny Cedar Key, Florida. The work being done in this small Florida town is having a lasting impact. The views and the sounds are enough to make anyone forget life's troubles. But for the folks living in this paradise, reality is much different. Nestled along Florida's Golden Coast lies Cedar Key, a small island community that thrives mainly on fishing. Residents in this town of less than 1,000 know all too well how one destructive storm or one catastrophic event can rip a person's livelihood away.
The Gulf oil spill really hurt the employment in our community.
In Cedar Key, jobs suffered and hunger came calling.
I never realized that so many people were food insecure, so many people, it was just the biggest problem of the day was if they were going to have at least one meal.
Seeing that need among peers, the school's FFA chapter decided to take action, creating their first Food for All project.
We want to be able to donate fresh produce and meat to our local food bank.
We are growing zipper peas. We are using a closed loop system to grow muscadine grapes and blueberries.
With fishing a major industry in the community, students are also raising more than 200 tilapia for the local food bank.
There's no need for fertilizer. We don't have to add any type of hormone or anything like that. It's really expensive just to do a system like this by yourself on such a large scale.
That's where the Food for All grant money came in. Financial assistance and an infinite drive to help others made it possible.
The students are doing the work. They are the ones who are planting the gardens, harvesting the vegetables, testing the water for quality, feeding the fish, checking on the fish, and it's learning by doing.
The Cedar Key FFA had a pretty successful fishing trip. They caught about 75 fish. Now they've actually taken the fish back to the school. They're filleting the fish behind me and putting those fillets into Ziploc bags like this and donating it to the local food pantry.
They are giving us something that we don't often get, which is fish and produce. Even though we're a coastal community, many of our clients don't have the opportunity to fish, and it really means a lot to them to be able to get fresh fish.
And just one fishing trip
Okay, you're recording it!
Stretches a long way. For these energetic and passionate high school students, it's not about recognition. It's about making a difference.
We don't want to be known for who we are, but we want to be known for what we're doing.
We're just getting started, so stay with us. Coming up next, we'll travel to Idaho, where fruit is the chapter's forte. But first, a National FFA officer's take on FFA Food for All.
And when hunger becomes more apparent, they then pick up on that. And so these students can see and feel that need in a way that generations in the past haven't.
Your corn is trying to tell you something. If it's not getting enough nitrogen, it's not giving you maximum yield. There are a lot of products that protect the nitrogen you apply, but only one protects and increases its efficiency: Endzone. No matter the weather, your tillage practice, or your crop, EndZone delivers more uptake to the plant for increased yield potential. Your corn is asking for EndZone. Maybe you should too.
You build a reputation by not breaking down. Consider the Silverado 1500, still the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. And now we've also been recognized for lowest total cost of ownership, based on important things like depreciation, fuel, and maintenance costs. Silverado, recognized for lowest total cost of ownership of any full-size pickup. From outstanding value to standing the test of time, Chevy runs deep.
I'm Mike Flores of Flores Trading, and I look at the markets differently. Daily market movements are often created by computerized trading systems. We try to anticipate the trends using technical analysis. We search for market conditions that can create price momentum. Isn't it time to try something new?
At Flores Trading, you will receive free live quotes 24 hours a day, and you can trade on your own computer. You can open an account online quickly. To get started, go to florestrading.com.
Volatile fertilizer and energy prices bring great risk and opportunity. On one hand, you can lock in attractive prices and delivery periods. On the other hand, you could make purchases at exactly the wrong time. Pro Farmer Inputs Monitor gives you the ability to track input prices in your crop district. Get specific buying advice, industry news, and market coverage, all at inputsmonitor.com. Inputsmonitor.com, tracking local fertilizer and fuel prices.
Living in a remote community in the valley of the Idaho mountains creates challenges. Those challenges, however, are where the Salmon Idaho FFA chapter is thriving. These FFA members are using resources at hand to provide food to young children within the community.
Nestled in a peaceful valley where mountains line the blue skies lies Salmon, Idaho. The natural resources help this small community stay alive. But 3 hours removed from any major city creates both challenges and opportunities.
You know, we say nobody lives here for the money. It's a beautiful place to be, but it's a hard place to make a living.
With 1 out of every 4 kids living under the poverty line, Salmon FFA saw a great need within the community and decided to help.
The Salmon Local Foods Group had already identified this surplus of fruit, and as you drive around the valley, we would see these trees that were just laden with fruit at the end of the season.
From that vision blossomed Salmon FFA's first Food for All project.
And we looked at their trees and we saw what they needed to do to keep them healthy so they had a good fruit harvest at the end. And then after the season went through, we went back and we harvested the fruit.
We weren't charged to go pick stuff or anything, and so all that was donated. We could just take what we wanted and they let us use what we could. And so we're very grateful to be able to have all those resources for free.
But because it's so far away from people in town, especially families in need, they aren't able to access that. And so for us to be able to be the transport mechanism to get those cherries from where they are into the local area in an affordable situation was pretty special.
The harvested fruit went to the community's after-school program.
They donated those fruits and vegetables to our summer food program, which lowers the cost to us and allows us to extend our services and provide even more meals in the communities.
One simple act like picking fruit has gone a long way in helping combat local hunger.
We were able to impact about 10 families and about 300 plus kids.
And they were an overwhelming success with the kids. We served cherries for about 3 weeks.
Most of our kids were not involved in fruit at all or tree maintenance, and so they've learned some things.
Now people are like, you guys did that? We heard about that. Can you do it next year for us?
Picking the fruit may seem simple.
That's a good one.
But when the threat of Mother Nature hits close to home, the community knows its precious resources could be quickly taken away.
That orchard that we picked has been surrounded by the wildfire that's happening right now. And so the trees are all safe. They were able to, through protection methods, save the orchards. And so we're very grateful for that because we'll be able to go back next year.
It's good to know that we're helping your neighbor out. And so I think that's a big thing is you know you're doing good for someone and you know that they appreciate it.
From acres of fresh produce to packaging weekend meals, we'll have more when we return.
FFA members, it is never too late to get involved. You can start now, right this minute, thinking of ideas of how to combat hunger in your local communities. because there will always be people who need you.
I know when you're having credit card problems, the situation seems out of control. Well, I'm here to tell you that your options for getting out of debt have never been better. How do I know? Because I'm Howard Dvorkin, the founder of Consolidated Credit. For nearly 2 decades, we've helped over 5 million people just like you. And every time we help someone, they all say the same thing. Why didn't I call sooner? If you owe too much money on your credit cards and you feel that you'll never be able to pay it off, don't wait. Simply pick up the phone and find out what our Freedom Quest program can do for you. Reducing your payments by up to 50% is just the beginning. We can explain all your options and help you pick your best solution. But you have to take the first step. When credit card debt is the problem, we're the solution. Call Consolidated Credit now. As soon as you call, the hard part is over.
Call Consolidated Credit now.
Call toll-free 1-800-218-4091. That's 1-800-218-4091. Call now.
The secret to finding more buyers for your cattle is no longer a secret. CattleExchange.com is like no other site. It brings the greater ease of use, detailed information, and searchability found in sites like Cars.com and Autotrader.com to the cattle industry. Upload photos and video to attract more buyers and share greater detail in your listing. Cattle buyers and sellers are connecting in ways they never imagined. Go to www.cattle-exchange.com and discover the secret to better selling.
Hi, this is Mark Gold with Top Third Ag Marketing. I have just issued a free workbook on marketing in the top third. This book contains all the major principles from my marketing seminars. And Top Third wants you to try an option at our expense. Included in the book is a coupon good for up to $150 in premium, plus we'll pay the commission and fees. We want you to learn how options can help you become a better marketer. Call 877-TT-HEDGE or visit topthird.com for details.
With a membership of 75 students, nearly half of the entire high school in Ridgway, Ohio are members of the Ridgemont FFA. The chapter is stepping up to meet 2 growing challenges in its community: obesity and hunger. And it all starts with ensuring kids have food even after the last school bell rings for the week.
The Ridgemont FFA chapter lives by the words of the FFA Creed each day, embarking on a quest and promise to see better days through better ways.
It's amazing what these kids can do in the district, and it doesn't matter how big or small your school district is, and these kids prove it.
We have one of the highest obesity rates in Ohio, and we have the highest obesity rate of 3rd graders in our county.
Our population is about 40% free and reduced lunch.
Everyone believes that they need to see the end. Sometimes to understand the root cause of an issue and allow youth to brainstorm, that's the first piece.
That's where their passion to help others and motivation to create ingenious ideas sprouted into their first FFA Food for All project.
We've started a program called the Backpack Buddies, and what we do with that is that for the students who may not have a meal over the weekend like they will receive during school, since we have breakfast and lunch, we send them home a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner, and also a few snacks. That way they have something to eat over the weekend.
At the beginning of the year, we were only able to support 35 kids. We had to really narrow down the list, but at the end of the year, we had grown to 65 kids, and this year we were able to support 75 kids.
The results have been more than just in health and attitude. It's also showing up in the grade books.
And we found that not only did it improve the children's quality of life at home, but it also improved their grades and attendance at school because they were more focused and not worried because they're hungry.
This program wasn't just a quick fix. The chapter wanted to ensure the skills and lessons taught to the students were sustainable. So in addition to packaging weekend meals, they also taught younger students how to grow their own produce.
And if we can teach all of our kids how to better care for themselves and feed themselves, we'll be able to really overcome the obesity rate at the same time as solving hunger issues.
The size of the community, however, created challenges.
Ridgemont is pretty small, so in our community, everyone knows everybody. So the confidentiality is a big thing because no one wants to be seen as in need.
Funding is another challenge, but through the FFA Food for All program, the students learned the power of grants.
If we hadn't received the Food for All grant, we wouldn't be able to provide as many boxes, or we wouldn't be able to provide as many meals.
Our students see a problem or address a need in the district.
with other students or in the community, and then they come together to figure out a plan of how they're going to fix it.
In Joloff's mind, the awards and banners that line the classroom walls don't justify a student's worth. It's the service learning projects, like Backpack Buddies, that mean the most.
When we implement programming that molds lives, changes young people's outlook on their potential for this world, we truly make a difference.
So true. We'll wrap up our travels today in the Bluegrass and Sooner states, so please stay with us.
We've always ran Chevrolet. That's all we've ever had, and they've done a good job. So why change if it's working?
Our reason we choose Chevy is, I guess, it's been kind of bred into us.
Oh, Dad, when we were young, said he bought one Ford, and the doors fell off.
Ever since then, he's been a Chevy man, and it's just continued on down the line.
That's what our dad made us drive when we was younger, because that's what he liked, and we've grown to love them too, and depend on them.
I guess the thing that keeps us going in this area is we was born and raised here, and it's just in our blood. And I don't know, I can't imagine ever leaving it. As far as the Chevy standing up to the wind and drought, the weather hasn't fazed the vehicles. They stand to be Chevy tough. I can't imagine driving anything else.
Well, as I said, we can sure get a lot of miles on one. They'll go a long ways.
We usually can get at least 200,000 miles out of them.
Mileage on this one here is 181,000.
We got a service pickup with 300,000 miles on it, and it still goes good, still going strong.
We've been really impressed and very satisfied with the dependability.
Yeah, the dependability stayed with the Chevrolet. I actually think it's better.
We use a Chevrolet pickup for everything we do out here. Anything from hauling cows to town to just about everything.
I would not see us at all looking at another brand to change.
That's all we've ever ran is a Chevrolet. They run good for us, and they've done a good job, so we haven't changed. Probably won't never change.
As we've been highlighting this morning, FFA members across the country are learning hunger is closer than many of us think. That's why the Central Hardin FFA chapter in Elizabethtown, Kentucky is stepping up to face the challenge both at home and on the other side of the world.
This Garden of Promise spreads across more than an acre, and it's FFA members delivering on a promise in all shapes and colors for those who need it most.
I know a lot of us, and me for one, we take it for granted sometimes, the things we have, and there's a lot of people that are less fortunate than us, and so I just think it's really good that we're giving back to them.
That basic need helped sprout the idea for the chapter's first FFA Food for All project.
But our mission yesterday was to deliver it to the primary soup kitchen here in the Elizabethtown community. It's actually in a food desert.
And the impact that they have on our community is quite large. It is for us. I mean, we're a soup kitchen. We run on a budget that is just totally donations from the community anyway. And when we can get fresh produce, it is just so wonderful to us.
The soup kitchen serves more than 1,000 meals a month. With so many mouths to feed, it's difficult to find enough fresh produce. But Central Hardin FFA is helping change that, one vegetable at a time.
We have anything from sweet corn, tomatoes, cabbage. There's a variety of anything that you can need to, whether you like it or it's nutritious or anything like that. We have about 3 acres, and we replant stuff, so we constantly have more produce coming in.
The nutritional value that has, so much better than anything that you get out of a can.
And because of this grant, Meredith says other partnerships have been developed, like a partnership with the National Guard and members of the Agribusiness Development Team, which will be deployed to Afghanistan in December 2012.
Spent the day with us, planting, harvesting, participating in things, getting some ideas for what they might do on the ground when they deploy in Kandahar, Afghanistan, beginning in December of 2012.
It's helping build the farming community, help improve processes
so that bring those guys into the 21st century.
People in third world countries that don't know, you know, he was talking about simple things like broadcast spreading, whereas we plant in rows, they just throw seed out and let it grow up.
If we're to be successful, we have to leave something that the Afghans can sustain.
And it's those lessons that are truly helping these FFA members make an impact much larger than just their local community.
The fact that they came in and we're able to learn from them, and then they learn from us and take it back to Afghanistan, it really makes us feel like we can impact more than just the U.S., and we can impact the whole world.
Impressive work. Still to come, we'll take you to a college campus where hunger is at the forefront of conversations.
I'm Mike Flores of Flores Trading, and I look at the markets differently. Daily market movements are often created by computerized trading systems. We try to anticipate the trends using technical analysis. We search for market conditions that can create price momentum. Isn't it time to try something new?
At Flores Trading, you will receive free live quotes 24 hours a day, and you can trade on your own computer. You can open an account online quickly. To get started, go to florestrading.com.
Volatile fertilizer and energy prices bring great risk and opportunity. On one hand, you can lock in attractive prices and delivery periods. On the other hand, you could make purchases at exactly the wrong time. Pro Farmer Inputs Monitor gives you the ability to track input prices in your crop district. Get specific buying advice, industry news, and market coverage, all at inputsmonitor.com. Inputsmonitor.com, tracking local fertilizer and fuel prices.
I've traveled around the world a lot. I've witnessed what we're trying to address here, and that's hunger. There's 6 billion people on the face of the planet today, and they say there's over 1 billion of them that have poor nutrition. They go to bed hungry. And I come back home and I witness the incredible productivity that takes place in American agriculture across our country. Somehow we need to do a better job of getting the food to those people that are in need. I guess when I look at Farmers Feeding the World, I say to myself, what do we really hope to accomplish? I hope we accomplish a design of a system that has a legacy that goes on for multiple generations. And I think with the knowledge that is possessed within agriculture, the funding that is within agriculture, we can get this accomplished.
Farmers Feeding the World is about agriculture coming together to increase both hunger solutions and food production. Learn more, give generously, dream huge.
Welcome back. Today we wrap up our profiles of the work being done for FFA Food for All with a trip to the Sooner State. Even though Shakota, Oklahoma is known as the home of the country music star Carrie Underwood, the FFA chapter is putting the town on the map for its work in resolving the issue of hunger while keeping it fresh.
In this rural Oklahoma community, heritage runs deep.
We have the second largest Indian population in the state of Oklahoma as per our Ag chapter.
That connection helped root the chapter's first FFA Food for All project. The Shakota chapter built on a foundation already laid by members of the school and community. The plan, grow the school's community garden even larger.
We took the money from the Food for All Farmers Feeding the World and the Food for All grant. We took that money and we built some above ground vegetable boxes.
And their students came up, and with our students at the elementary, they came out and planted all these vegetables, which is really a vision that we had since the start of it.
This massive garden was planted with one main goal in the students' minds: provide fresh produce to the older generations of Shakota who are no longer able to grow and harvest food on their own.
Most of them are very big supporters of the FFA chapter. This is a good way that, it's a little stepping stone to giving back to them, but it's a good start.
A start that was created with the vision of an outdoor classroom, providing hands-on lessons to students of all ages.
It makes learning more relevant. It also provides a little bit of rigor into their classroom. That's fun too.
Harvesting more than just fruit, they were able to reap skills and lessons that will help sustain them throughout life.
And they learn measurement skills. When they're looking at how big something is, how much it weighs, they're learning classification, they're learning so many skills that are regular common core that's so important for teachers to teach. They're learning it in the garden and taking it into the classroom, and that's the best way to learn right there.
I love it. I'm going to be an ag teacher myself. I just love teaching kids, and they get out here and they get their hands on it and they get to enjoying it. And whenever they get to high school and have the opportunity to get into ag class, they've already experienced it and had a good experience with it, so they're more enthused about getting in it.
You bigger boys, get in here and pick these green beans. There's tons of green beans everywhere.
It's students like Deontay Warrior who got their hands dirty working the soil, watering the plants, and maintaining the crops to ensure the garden was cared for all summer long.
I learned how to dust them, how to pick the produce right, you know what I mean, how not to overwater them, and not to water them in the middle of the day so it'd be too hot.
That also instills in them a work ethic, I hope, that carries on into their careers and into their jobs.
But their toil in a garden of this size didn't come without challenges, especially when the drought of 2012 continued to scorch the crops.
It surprised me. I didn't think we was gonna get what we got, but we did.
The joys and discomforts of agricultural life made their bountiful harvest one to savor. Because of the success you've just seen in 2012, the three organizations have renewed their commitment for this year, giving even more FFA chapters across the country a chance to combat hunger in 2013. But before we go this morning, 2012 was a busy year for Farmers Feeding the World. They left a large footprint on college campuses, too. From empowering high school students to educating future decision makers about food insecurity, Farmers Feeding the World is spreading the word all across the country.
Hunger You, it's a campaign, it's an initiative just to try to spark discussion and awareness and conversation among students, get them excited about hunger on the forefront of their mind, kind of just bring attention to the issue that maybe isn't always in the mind of students, especially ones that aren't involved in agriculture.
It's a fifth-wheel trailer that transforms into a 3,000-foot display. With interactive features, Hunger You is teaching students like Shelby Chessman the importance of addressing this growing issue.
Especially like seeing on the map like how many countries don't have any food, and I was especially like giant countries like China that holds like most of the world's population that was number 30 or something like that. And so that was really surprising to me.
It's really important that we target college students because they're the next generations of decision makers. For us on the foundation side, it's a long-term investment in advocacy. We can go and talk to consumers today, but most of the time their minds have already made up. For college students, this is where they start putting those beliefs, those ideas together, and oftentimes production agriculture is left out of the discussion. So we come here on college campuses, get right in the middle of it, and start the discussion with students so that in 5 years and 10 years, when they start seeing some of the decisions and have to make decisions about how they want their food produced and how we're going to feed the world, they're a little bit better informed, and they have a place where they can go and learn more about it.
The Conversation on Wheels made 7 total stops this year, including Indianapolis for the National FFA Convention. Well, we hope you enjoyed this special tribute to these outstanding FFA chapters. Our thanks to the National FFA, the Howard G. Buffett Foundation, and Farmers Feeding the World Foundation for their support. I'm Tyne Morgan. Have a great day.
The Bayer Crop Science Young Farmer Sustainability Award recognizes young producers who demonstrate excellence in business and environmental sustainability. Head online to apply today. The Chevy Silverado is the official news gathering vehicle for AgDay television.